Hey guys, it's me. I'm back. Okay, total epic fail on my part there. So I invited everybody, come on over to my YouTube channel. I'm doing a live feed, da 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 da. And my daughter messages me because nobody was showing up. And it was like 4 or 5 minutes into the video. And I thought, okay, something's not working right here. So I stopped the video. And then I sort of, looked around at everything thinking, do I have something not turned on or something turned off that should be on? Like, what the frig's going on here? Couldn't find anything wrong. And I thought, well, okay, now it's like 10 after 7. I had said 7. And I'd started the first video at 7. So I started again and nobody was showing up. And I thought, this is odd. So anyway, then my daughter sent me a private message on Messenger that said, Mom, I can't see it. I can't see anything. So I guess my live feed on my YouTube channel for some reason is not working. So I'm going to have to go into that. And I would like to be able to use my laptop to do my videos as well, but it's I don't know what's wrong with the camera on this stupid thing. It's so grainy. It's just unbelievable. Like it's not usable. It's too grainy to you can't even see it. So, but anyway, so here I is. So yeah, so I tried a live Facebook video and a couple of people showed up and nobody really wants to say anything, guys. And I'm kind of like, I don't know. I feel like a bit of an ass now, to be honest with you. I feel a bit foolish. Is it still such a taboo subject that people don't really want to talk about it out loud on a public forum? I know I'm uncomfortable. Definitely I'm uncomfortable talking about this. You bet your ass I am. I don't drink, I don't smoke, and I don't do drugs. And even through all of this, since the accident, 2.5 years later, still in constant chronic pain. I've lost my career. I've lost all of my leisure activities. I'm about 10% of the person that I once was because of the accident. I've never touched a narcotic or an opioid, nor will I ever. I mean, you'd have to, like, cut my leg off. Somebody is messaging me something about medical marijuana. Sorry. I'm sorry, whoever you are. I'm just in the middle of the video here. So, okay, so anyway, yeah, like, I know I'm uncomfortable talking about it because, like, Fonz and I really have to get our heads around this, that we come from a generation where this was illegal. This is drugs, right? And if you get caught with this, you're getting handcuffs put on you and your ass is going in the back of a cop car, right? So it's drugs. It's illegal. It's bad. It's shady. It's dirty. It's only drug addicts use marijuana, smoke marijuana. Only bad people, only losers, only lowlifes, only, you know what I mean? Like, we need to get those thoughts that are so ingrained in our heads from growing up that way. I mean, it was illegal, it was drugs, and that's what we learned our whole lives. We have to get our heads switched around to it's not considered drugs anymore. Marijuana and CBD are not considered drugs anymore. And they are now considered medicines, which is what they should be considered as. So I don't know how much of anything that anybody saw earlier. So here's what happened yesterday. So I went to go see my pain specialist for my normal 2-week visit. What in the frig is hubby doing out there? No idea. This, by the way, is my vape that I use to quit smoking. So I'm going to have a drag. This is the thing that stops me from going back to cigarettes. I'm no longer addicted to nicotine. It'll be 2 years, November 9th, since I had a cigarette. So this little puppy stops me from going back to cigarettes. So him and I are still good friends. One of these days I'm going to let this guy go, but not quite yet. But anyway, 2 years, guys, coming up, 2 years. So anyway, here's what happened yesterday. So we went down to the city. I went to see my pain specialist. We talked about, how I've been doing, how I was since my last shots. And I had like a bit of I said this in an earlier video. She came in and she said, I have a bit of bad news for you. And I was like, what? What do you mean bad news? And she went on to explain that because I'm not getting a really good effect or a long-term effect, I'm only getting like maybe 3 to 4 hours out of each time that I go where I feel frozen, where from the 30 to 40 needles up and down your back and neck. for about 3 to 4 hours, and then the freezing wears off and the pain comes back. So because we're covered by OHIP here, I guess they're audited. I guess probably just randomly they do audits. And they go through their records, and when they see a patient like me who's really not getting much benefit from the treatment, they're going to pull you from the list. So they're not saying that you can't have it done anymore, but they're saying they're not going to pay for it anymore. Can you imagine what it would cost to have nerve block or pain shots done at your own cost? I can't even, like, it must be, I don't know, it's got to be, what, $300 a pop or something? I would imagine. I would not think it was not cheap. So anyway, she said, you know, I'm really worried that next time we get audited, that's what's going to happen to you. And she said, we could get audited like tomorrow, for all I know. I think they just kind of randomly do it. So she said, the only way that we can really get around this is I'm going to have to haul out the big guns, and I'm going to have to try something on you that we haven't tried before, and it is a stronger medication. Now, it's still, again, same thing, non-narcotic, non-opioid. It's like lidocaine, it's freezing. And this is what they do, all these needles up and down your back. So she said, let's try that. And I said, I'm game, whatever, give her. So she did, and man, did it work. Man, did it work way better than anything else she's ever given me. So I think maybe I needed the big guns, right? All along, I should have been getting the big guns. So that's a good thing. So that means that I'm you know, hopefully going to continue to be getting my nerve blocker shots, because even 3 to 4 hours relief, I'll take it. You know, I've said it before, I'll say it again. When you've been in constant chronic pain from head to toe for 2.5 years, 3 to 4 hours of having I'm not going to say no pain, because I've never been pain free since about 12:40 p.m. May 25th, 2015. Yeah, I forget what having no pain feels like. I don't remember that life anymore. But I'll take it. I will take whatever they can offer. So then, you know, we talked about that, and we talked about, I had other questions. I got to write my notes, because if there's no notes, you guys know me. No notes, forget it, out of my head, and I'll just go in circles, right? That's the brain injury. Not the brain tumor, the brain injuries. So, anyway, then I had my notes on my phone, and the last thing that I had written on there was asking her about CBD and cannabis oil as treatment for chronic pain, because there's a lot being said online, there's a lot being said on TV, there's just a lot being said everywhere, a lot being said in all the support groups that I belong to, whether it's brain tumor support, wherein cannabis oil more so than, because CBD oil is more used to treat chronic pain, whereas cannabis oil is more, the THC part of it, the part that gets you high, is more what's being used to treat brain tumors, and has been shown, certain studies have shown that it shrinks tumors, it makes tumors disappear. I don't know if I believe that. That's, to me, a little far-fetched. At best, for myself, I would hope that it would slow the progression, because right now, old Charlie here is a grade 2, so he is considered benign. I am completely asymptomatic. I said it before, say it again, without the MRIs, I would have no idea that I have a brain tumor. None whatsoever. None. Thank you, God, right? But none. You know, if I was taking cannabis oil, would it either shrink Charlie a little bit so he becomes like Charliette, little Charlie Jr.? Would it slow down the progression so that by the time he decides to become an asshole, I'm 93 and it really doesn't matter anymore? You know, I don't know. So anyway, I was really, really apprehensive about approaching this subject, or broaching this subject with her. And I waited until I was on the table and she was standing behind me, because you have to sit up to have this done. So she's standing behind your back, right? And I couldn't even look at her. I felt so awkward and so, like, embarrassed about talking about it, because to me, I'm talking about drugs. And what I expected was, and I said this earlier in the live video, but I don't know who all saw it. So I said, you know, that where am I going? Where am I going? See? Brain injury, just totally lost my train of thought. Totally. Okay, so I was apprehensive about talking to her about it, and I said that there's been a lot of studies that have shown blah, 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 blah. And that's where I was going. What do you think of all of this? And what I was really expecting to hear from her was, you know, Kelly, I have heard, you know, different studies. I've been to different medical conferences where this has been discussed. I've seen all the online stuff. I mean, she's a physician. She knows her stuff, and she's a really amazing, over the top. I wish I had permission to I've never asked her if I can mention her name, but she knows I'm a YouTuber and she knows I'm a vlogger. So, maybe I should ask her one of these days. Can I use your name? Like, can I actually say your name out loud? Because you're the bomb. And anybody I know who has chronic pain needs to be your patient. Like, honest to God, needs to see you. But anyways, I can't mention her name because I don't have permission. But, what I was expecting was for her to say, you know, I've heard all this stuff, and, you know, well, I can't really say to you whether I agree with it or whether I disagree with it, because we actually right now we're talking about illegal drugs, because marijuana is not legal in Canada yet, and it's not expected to be legalized until July 1st, 2018. So at that time, if it becomes legal, shit, yeah, let's talk about it, right? But for right now, I can't have this discussion with you, because I'm not going to sit here and talk about illegal drugs. Instead, the exact opposite happened, and I near fell off the table. I was so shocked. So I said to her, so, like, I wanted to talk to you about cannabis oil, and I'm like, oh, you know, feeling awkward. And she goes, oh, yeah, What did you need to know about it? And I said, well, I just read some things and heard some things, and people have told me things on different support groups and stuff. And she said, well, yeah, for pain management and help with pain control and help with inflammation and help with, and she starts going on and on about it. And she said, yep, she said, we can certainly fix you up. We have all the paperwork here. We can get you fixed up. We can get you figured out. And I'm like, I was stunned, and I'm thinking, why have you never mentioned this to me before? But I guess maybe because she knows that I'm so against narcotics and opioids, maybe she thought that I would not be one with the whole marijuana thing either, because, again, it's drugs, right? She's like, yep, absolutely, let's get you fixed up. They go through a program called Grow Wise, and on my own Facebook page, I have to unplug my phone or it's going to overheat on me, apparently. On my own Facebook page, I shared the link to their website. So go ahead and check them out. They're based out of Toronto, Ontario. It's all very legal, very above board, very professional, very medical. And they breed certain strains. For me, it's been 35 years since I ever even attempted to smoke a joint. And all it did to me was promote anxiety and panic attacks, right? So I don't touch this stuff. It doesn't agree with me. I don't like it at all, right? So I'm really apprehensive about even trying it. That being said, things are so much different today, and now it's handled medically. I read something today online which was kind of alarming, and this is why, if you have chronic pain, or if you have a chronic condition like a brain tumor, or you have Parkinson's, or you have whatever you have going on, that you may benefit from medical marijuana or medical CBD oil, that you need to see a doctor. You need to go through this. You need to go through the legal channels and get this. Like, this is going to be, it's going to actually be delivered to my home. They're going to be delivering CBD oil to my front door like a pizza. Hello, like, am I, like, I don't know what's going on. I'm just stunned. But you need to go through the proper channels, and you need to, get it prescribed by your doctor, get it all legal, get it all above board. And people talk about this medical marijuana card, and I said to her, well, don't I have to have like some kind of card or something? And she said, no, 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 that's, you do and you don't. It's kind of a myth, and you're doing it through me, and this is a pain clinic, and da-da-da. So really what it was I think one sheet of paper. I had to fill out, you know, my name, my address, my birth date, my, you know, pertinent personal information, and say that I wanted it sent to my residential address, because you had the option of a residential address or a business address. So say I ran my own business, I have my own store somewhere, right? I can have my marijuana or my CBD delivered to my place of business. Like, holy, have I been, like, I feel like Rumpelstiltskin. Have I been asleep for like 20 years and I just woke up? And yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so it was super easy. She was super open to it. We had a big long chat about me suffering from anxiety and panic attacks from marijuana years and years and years ago, but that I don't touch it for that reason. It doesn't agree with me. It never has. Not into it, not interested in it, don't want any part of it. But now, if it's being considered medicine and it's going to be given to me, prescribed by a physician as medicine, then okay, I'm willing to try it, as long as it's under very controlled circumstances. Like, oh, that's what I was starting to say. See? Brain injury. I read something earlier today that in this, I think this was somewhere in the States, that marijuana is showing up on the streets that's been laced with fentanyl. So it's obviously they can charge more for their marijuana, because this shit'll get you high, and word gets around, oh my god, he's got the greatest pot ever, you know, because it's a shady drug dealer on a street. It's not a doctor. This is not being prescribed by anyone. This is not legal and above board and medical. This is shady and slimy and scuzzy, right? This is a dirty drug dealer on a street corner, right? So obviously, you know, he can charge more because he's got this really wicked kick-ass weed, and people are dying because it is laced with fentanyl. So depending on how much you smoke, I mean, if you smoke, you know, if you smoke half a doob or whatever and you just get wickedly high, well, great, fine, whatever. But if you go home and you sit down and smoke 3 or 4 joints over the course of a couple of hours, guess what? You're not waking up, right? And people are dying because this stuff is showing up on the street laced with fentanyl. And that's where the whole medical marijuana thing comes in, is that what you're getting is coming from a laboratory where they grow it under very strict, very controlled conditions. Each strain is, she said that each strain is bred for different things. So some of it is, you know, like bred for people who suffer from anxiety and panic. So this weed will mellow you out, and it'll help with your anxiety and your panic. Some strains are bred to help with certain types of pain, i.e. fibromyalgia, which I didn't have fibromyalgia before the accident. I certainly, you know, have taken care of a lot of people with fibromyalgia, but I've never had it. And I do now, trust me. Boy, do I have it. Things like Parkinson's disease, Huntington's, all kinds of neurological, MS, you know, all kinds of neurological disorders, people with brain tumors, people with dementia. There's all different strains that can be bred to help control the symptoms or alleviate the symptoms, like maybe eliminate, I guess is the word I'm looking for, the symptoms of certain disorders. And I think we've probably all seen that, and if you haven't, Google it, or YouTube it. There's a video of a gentleman who has Parkinson's disease. He's an older gent. He's probably well into his 60s, and he's lying or sitting on a couch, and he's just uncontrollably, the shaking and the jerking and the, you know, and he has no control, and the speech is just, you know, jerky and no control whatsoever. So somebody comes in and they smoke a joint with him on purpose. This is an on-purpose medical type experiment with this gentleman who participated willingly, like he agreed to do this, and knew what he was doing, knew that it was marijuana he was smoking. So I think in the video they kind of time-lapse it so that like 10 minutes or something, 15 minutes or something passes. And this man goes from barely being able to sit up without falling on his face off the couch, because the movements are just so jerky. Ow, that hurts. So jerky and so uncontrolled and so out of his control, and his speech is just, you know, almost unintelligible because it's so bad. To he's like sitting up, he's sitting still, he's maybe every once in a while he kind of does a little, one of those little shoulder shrug or something. His speech is settled right down to, his speech sounds pretty much normal. And he asks the guy, he says, have you eaten anything yet? Are you hungry? Oh God. Not only did it completely calm down this man's Parkinson's symptoms, like almost erased it. Now, I'm sure that it was temporary, and I'm sure that within an hour or two, when the effects of the marijuana wore off, then his Parkinson's symptoms returned, right? But I'm not saying that it cured him of Parkinson's disease, of course not, but that it did help calm his symptoms so that he can live a manageable, livable lifestyle and have a quality of life. So he doesn't have to suffer like this anymore. I mean, it's got to hurt. It's got to hurt when your body is constantly jerking and in motion all the time. And see, it hurts me to do it. And you can't stop it. You can't control it. It's a neurological disease, right? Same as MS. Awful disease. Awful disease. Very, very painful. ALS. Worst thing I've ever seen in my entire life is Lou Gehrig's disease. It is worse than every type of cancer combined. It is the most god-awful thing ever. And I don't know that medical marijuana would help. I think CBD would probably help with the pain of ALS, but I don't know that, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if there's even been any studies done on it or anything. So, but anyway, yeah, so in this video, this guy, his symptoms just boom, like within I don't know, about a 10-minute period. And as I say, I'm sure that once the effects of the marijuana wore off, the symptoms then returned. So if the symptoms return, fine, they return. You know, if he feels like it's manageable and he's not feeling too bad, okay. If if he starts to feel like, you know, I'm getting exhausted from all the jerking and jumping around and I can't speak and I'm, you know, I just want to lie down and rest, everything hurts. Do you know what? Give him some more marijuana and let all the symptoms calm and settle and let the man have a quality of life, right? So we have to get our minds around, and I know there's a whole bunch of us out there from my generation, I'm 53 years old, who view marijuana as drugs. It's drugs. It's illegal. You're going to jail if you get caught with it. And we have to start to realize that it's not drugs, it's medicine. And it's been growing on this planet for millennia, since green things started to grow on this lovely blue and green planet of ours. Marijuana has been growing in one form or another, probably, I bet you, almost in every country in the world, like maybe not Antarctica, anywhere where there was an environment that, you know, promotes the growth of plant life. I'm sure that marijuana has been growing wild all over this planet since the dawning of time. And it just happens to have incredible medicinal properties. It can be abused. Absolutely, it can be abused, but so can, I don't know, so can Tylenol, so can, you know what I mean? You can, if you use too much of anything. Actually, I once knew a girl many years ago, and I won't mention names or how or where I knew her, who was addicted to nasal spray. She lost a ton of weight, and I mean a lot, like over 100 pounds, right? Excuse me. Again, water vapor, guys. She lost a lot of weight quite quickly, and every time you looked at her, she had this thing up her nose. And it turns out that she was addicted to this nasal spray, and it, I'm not, what the hell is it called? I can't think of what it's called that's in it now. It's in the tip of my brain, but there's not much left of my mushy brain now. Anyway, it does have addictive qualities to it. People abuse cold syrups. You can abuse anything. I mean, alcoholics will drink mouthwash, you know. So, I mean, you can pretty much abuse anything. So, yeah, can you abuse marijuana? Yes. She and I had, my pain doctor and I had this conversation, and she called it, she didn't call it marijuana overdose. She called it marijuana toxicity something or rather that they get, because she also works in the Emerge. of the hospital in the city where she is. I don't want to say too much because, again, I don't have permission to mention her name, so I don't want to give like details about her. And she works in the Emerge pretty much every night. She works midnight. She loves it. She's crazy. um, and they get a lot. She said it's all younger people, teenagers and young people in their early, young 20s, that will just sit around all night and smoke joint after joint after joint after joint. And I guess you hit this point of like toxicity, and you start having uncontrollable vomiting, shaking, sweating. She said it's like hyperemesis gravidium when you're pregnant. You can't control it, can't stop it. You just are like projectile vomiting continuously. And it's got something to do with some kind of toxicity from smoking too much marijuana at one time. So can you abuse it? Absolutely, you can abuse it. You can abuse anything if you use too much of it or use it too frequently. So am I comfortable talking about this? No, I'm not really. I feel like I'm doing something shady or wrong or bad. And yet I have a prescription from a physician who is actually a specialist who went extra years to university to become a specialist in pain. And that's all she deals with is pain. And she works in Emerge and I think handles everything in Emerge. But if somebody comes in with a serious pain issue, it's her that they're paging, right? Because she is a pain specialist, right? This chick knows her shit. Trust me. She is an amazing doctor. So I have a prescription from this amazing, incredibly well-educated doctor for CBD oil, which is, like I said, going to be delivered to my home like a fucking pizza. I can't get my head around that. I cannot get my head around that at all. Fonts was really, because he feels the same way as me, it's drugs, it's illegal, right? He feels the same way as me. He was not on board with any of this idea when I first started mentioning it to him about all the stuff that's being said on the brain tumor sites, about the use of CBD for pain and the use of the cannabis THC oil in shrinking tumors. And he said, well, that's just coming from a bunch of potheads, right? That's just a bunch of potheads talking. But he did say to me, the more we talked about it, and I said to him, I feel exactly the same as you. We both feel the same way about this. But he got to the point, we both got to the point where we said, listen, if it is prescribed by a physician, you're not going out and buying, drugs off of old shady boy here on the corner with the trench coat on, right? You're getting a prescription from a doctor. You're being given something that has been grown in a greenhouse laboratory environment that's very controlled. They know exactly what they're giving you. They know exactly what this strain is for, what it's going to manage, what effects you're going to have from it, whether they be good effect. Here's all the good effect, and here are the side effects. Now, the side effects are, you're probably really, really dangerous if somebody gets you near a bag of Ruffles, I would say, or a pizza, maybe. I don't know. I mean, if you misuse, yes, you could have this whole toxicity thing happen. I myself am terrified of trying the CBD oil for the first time and having a massive panic attack because it's like I almost want to have some lorazepam on hand. You know what I'm saying? My nursey friends out there, Sarah, are you watching me? A lot of you. I almost want to have a couple of Ativan to sublingual to pop under my tongue if I start freaking out after I take this stuff. And I'm probably going to talk myself into freaking out because I'm so scared. I'm so like, oh my God, I can't take this stuff. What if it makes me anxious and, So I don't know, but I still feel like it's a really, really taboo subject, and I wanted to share with everybody the fact that I was completely bowled over, completely shocked by my doctor going, yeah, absolutely, no problem. We can set you up here. We have all the paperwork. We deal exclusively through a company, a laboratory out of Toronto called GrowWise, and we have all of their paperwork here that you're required to fill out in order to, get the goods from them. And I have a meeting on the 22nd with a doctor from GrowWise who specializes in marijuana and CBD. And then I'm going to start taking it. So I don't know, like I don't know. I'm on the fence. I'm really on the fence. And I feel like part of me right now feels embarrassed and like I shouldn't even be talking about this, and like I should just hit delete and not even publish this because I feel like I'm doing something like illegal or bad or wrong. And the other part of me is like, oh my God, people, for all of you out there who are suffering, don't suffer anymore. It's available. It's legal. You just don't go buy it off some scumbag on a street corner. Go to your doctor. Just go to your doctor. Maybe your family doctor can't. I don't know if my family doctor can do this. I've never asked him to. I've never asked anybody to do anything like this before, or asked anybody about any such thing before. Your family doctor may have to refer you to a pain specialist or a naturopath or something in order to get this prescribed for yourself. But it's there, it's available, it is legal, it is above board, it is well controlled. You are not going to get something that's been laced with rat poison or fentanyl or God knows what. And if you try the strain that they give you and it doesn't work, or it has an ill side effect, try a different one. The only problem is that between now and I'm assuming July 1st of 2018, excuse me for a sec, people. I know I don't usually vape when I'm videotaping, like never. But my nerves are shot doing this, so excuse me. This is again, I will reiterate again, this is just water vapor. I quit smoking 2 years ago, November 9th, and I am addicted to taking a drag. That's where my addiction lies now. Not with nicotine, just with taking a drag. So, yeah. Anyway, again, water vapor. So anyway, where was I? I don't know. I wonder, you know what, guys? Here's an interesting thing. Here's an interesting thought. Because my short-term memory is so poor, it's so, what's the word I'm looking for? See, word searching. I do it all the time. It's so I have such a deficit. It's so, what is the word? Ill-affected, badly, I don't even know. The word's there and I can't think of it. Because I have such issues with my short-term memory that I have a hard time carrying on conversations. I repeat myself. I go around in circles, as we all know. Bear with me. Can't help it. I have brain injuries. I wonder if it's going to help with that. Because to me, like anybody who smokes pot, it makes you stupid as shit, right? I don't know. Maybe CBD oil will help with that. Maybe it will help with the contra coup brain injuries that I have, and my memory will improve. I don't know. I never asked that question. It remains to be seen. So anyway, guys, I'm going to close her up for now. I'm not sure how I feel. I'm really not sure how I feel. I feel kind of foolish. I feel kind of like I shouldn't have even made this video in the first place. I feel like I shouldn't have gone live. I feel like I shouldn't be talking about it. Like I'm doing something wrong or illegal. But at the same point, you know, this is a prescription that I'm getting from my physician. And it's all legal, it's all above board, it's all medicine, it's all medical, it's all, there's nothing wrong. It would be like me talking to you about, you know, I find that Advil gel caps actually work a lot better than just the regular Advil tablets. Try the gel caps, they work a lot faster, they work better. It's you know, kind of talking about the same thing, aren't we? We're talking about medicine, right? And I think we just need to get our heads around the fact that it's been, like I say, growing on this planet for millennia, and that it's just now we're starting to, you know, grow half a brain cell here and realize that, you know, the cure for a lot of stuff, maybe not the cure, I don't want to say the cure, that's really taking it overboard, but the help for a lot of things that people suffer from, and they're suffering needlessly because the help is out there. People who suffer from 100 seizures a day can go down to 2 seizures a day or no seizures a day. People with Parkinson's, people with, you know, like I said, with neurological problems, people with, you know, diabetic nerve pain, people like me with all over body pain from having been in this bad accident, and fibromyalgia and all this other stuff. And I'm hoping that it's really going to help too with my sleep disorders. because I am currently on 4 milligrams of clonazepam at HS every night at bedtime, and that is a shit load of clonazepam. Every other one of my doctors, this is prescribed, pardon me, by my sleep doctor, and every other, I have a whole team. I'm special because I got a whole team of doctors and therapists and specialists and PTs and OTs and osteopaths and you name it, I got everybody. Everybody has said, what, 4 milligrams? Are you shitting me? That's a lot. But it's what it takes. It's what it takes to knock me out, and it's what it takes to stop me from hurting myself in my sleep, even though I still do. Stops me, hopefully, from hurting my husband, which I have done, because the nightmares are terrible, and the 2 sleep disorders are just wild and out of control. So maybe it'll help with that. But anyways, so guys, cheers. Timmy's here. This is legal. This is okay, guys. So, I don't know. Let's leave this lying where it is, and you know, give us some thought. Give me your thoughts and your feedback, and like, be honest. Be honest. If you feel like it's a bad thing, or you know, like, oh my God, don't do that. You're doing drugs. Be honest. Tell me exactly what you think, please. I'm begging you, because I don't want nothing but good comments. I don't want nothing but bad comments. What I want is honest comments. So tell me exactly what you think. And if you are using any type of CBD or cannabis oil or cannabis that you're smoking or vaping, that's one thing I told my doctor. If it came to me using cannabis, that I would buy an actual cannabis vape. You can buy vapes that are for pot, right? Because my big fear would be if I put a joint in my mouth, put a lighter to the end of it, and lit it and inhaled the smoke, I would immediately want a cigarette, right? Because I haven't lit something and inhaled it in 2 years. On the 9th, it'll be 2 years. So yeah, I think I would vape it if it ever came to that. But anybody who's using anything to help yourself, don't know what happened there, just cut me off. Okay, so if you're using anything yourself, or you have a loved one, family member, friend, whatever, using anything, and you know, gaining benefit from it, or having ill effect from it, whatever it is you got to say about it, but just give me your honest comments, okay, guys? So as usual, I love you. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit the old subscribey, give it a thumbs up, hit the bell icon so you don't miss anything. If you're on my Facebook page, then like, share, comment, and everybody be honest, okay? And I love you all very much, and I will see you in my next video.